Hey, it's Howard, and it is time to play some games. I'm back with some more Pokemon Go PvP, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at one of my Vortex Cup tournaments. This was a 4-0 sweep, and yes, I know this was last month's meta again. We're going to try for Prismatic Cup to get it on time, but hope you enjoy this video. Nonetheless, and go ahead and drop a like if you're excited. We are going to be featuring HYPNO in this tournament sweep. I also had Primate, Frostless, Whiscash, Cantonian Ninetales, and Xylus on my team. So let's hop into round one. Without any further ado, we're going up against Irish Lunatic with the Primate mirror lead here. We are going to be just hammering away with counters, and he throws right away, so I know this is going to be a Night Slash. I don't have to shield. I hope he doesn't get the boost. He doesn't, which is very good. We build up to the close combat and threaten to throw that possibly, but we just throw the Night Slash, but we get the boost, even though our opponent called our bluff, wasn't going to shield that. We were able to take switch there. We did go down immediately to the Pelipper afterwards, but we do have HYPNO to come in here and take on this Pelipper. Weather Ball is still going to be doing a decent chunk of damage, but nothing too severe here. We are going to shield here because we do have a good chunk of energy. We don't have Thunder Punch, which would be fantastic here, but Ice Punch is still going to do the job for us. So we are going to get it off there just barely, which is fantastic. And here we go. Barely just doesn't take it out, so we can decide, do we want to shield, or do we want to keep that shield and bring in our Frostless and get extra energy, or we just survive and take it out. That works too. So we are going to come in with Frostless, and even though this looks like a great matchup, this is actually one that favors Dragonair, because Aqua Tail and Dragon Breath is going to be doing so much damage, but we were able to just barely get to this Avalanche here, which gets the first shield. Are we going to get to the second Avalanche? We are, and this is going to win us game one. Just a great game there. And the other three Pokemon on our opponent's team, he also brought Whiscash, Galvantula, and his own Frostless. So we have a fairly favorable lead for us here with the HYPNO versus the Pelipper. He knows that we don't have Thunder Punch this time, but that's not really going to change his game plan here. He's just going to be going straight Weather Ball here and unloading that consistent damage. We are going to go for the Ice Punch, and one more Ice Punch is going to take it out. We are going to shield here, even though I know we can survive the Weather Ball. I do want to try to farm up a little more energy there. The full farm down there would have been much too risky, so I just decided to go for it there, and our opponent does let it go down there. Here comes in Galvantula, and we are able to lose CMP. That is definitely something the HYPNO can do. I should have thrown the Ice Punch one fast move earlier. I wasn't thinking there. I don't know what was going on, but we were able to get the Galvantula to about half health with our confusion damage alone, and we can now just bring in our Primate. We are going to have to shield, but we are going to outpace this Galvantula to the next charge move, so we are either going to get the last shield, or we're going to take it out, which we do, and we see a Frostless, but we have no shields, and they have a shield, and they're ahead on energy, so they're just going to be able to use Crunch here, which is interesting. Not sure why it's not Shadow Ball, but it's still doing the job there. We do get the shield with Avalanche, which is great, and we don't get to a second charge move, which is unfortunate. We are going to have to get to 2 Night Slashes here to be able to KO, which is not what we want to see. Our opponent doesn't even have to throw a charge move here. I guess we could have gotten the boost there, and then if they didn't throw a charge move, we would have been able to counter down, but they have the move, they're gonna throw it, they want to win. So well played in that match. We start off game 3 here, the decisive tiebreaker, with a terrible lead, Ninetales into Pelipper. So we swap out into our Frostlass. We both start charging up a bit of energy before they swap into Galvantula, and they decide not to shield. This is fantastic for us. I should have just Powder Snowed down, and I tried to take it out before it could use a charge move, but now we just lost all of our energy and spent that shield. In comes this Primeape, and we do CMP tie because they, well, on the Night Slash here, they do get the Night Slash off, but I have Ninetales and HYPNO. HYPNO is a better matchup, but I know that Pelipper is in the back, and Ninetales is not going to be super useful there, and so this is the best place for it to be, and HYPNO can handle Pelipper in the back. So we get a shield here, and I know my Ninetales is not super helpful here, so we just want to use it to get shields. I take the Night Slash there, and now we're going to be able to completely farm down with just 2 confusions there, and now it is HYPNO versus Pelipper. We take the first Weather Ball here, we both have a shield still, and they get to the second Weather Ball before we can get to a charge move. We are going to have to shield here, and this is getting to be incredibly close. We are going to throw the first Ice Punch here. It could be a Shadow Ball, and our opponent decides to take it, and now we have to hope that our HYPNO can survive this Weather Ball. We do, and we are able to Confusion down. Very well played. We take round 1. Now we are jumping into round 2 against Porgy Kid here, and we have a favorable matchup here with Primeape into Whiscash. So because they threw right away, I know this is going to be a Mud Bomb, so we don't have to worry about shielding it. If it was a Blizzard, then it would have been much more threatening. We are going to have to shield this next one, but we are building up so much energy, and we have access to close combat, that so our opponent does have to be wary of that. And they shield, and we are just going to go for another Night Slash, because a Night Slash will KO from this range, and it'll almost KO from this range, and we don't want to debuff ourselves, and it's less energy, which allows us to get to this close combat here, and it doesn't get shielded, so we are able to take out that Primeape and have our Frostlass here for this Xylas here. Our HYPNO isn't going to do much against Xylas. I guess it does have Ice Punch, and so in a pinch, we could use it to try to pull something off, but it's not what you want to see. So they go for the Dragon Pulse there, which unfortunately for them gets shielded, but that does mean we take game 1 here of round 2. And kind of just started to get into the round instead of going over their team first, but we can do that in a bit because we have game 2 here. We have a favorable lead with Frostlass into HYPNO. Our opponent builds up some energy and then swaps out into Whiscash, and we're going to throw 1 Avalanche and then come in with Primeape, because I don't want to see Primeape anywhere near HYPNO, and I can just come in here and go for the Night Slash, and then assuming HYPNO is going to come back in, we can go for 1 Night Slash, but seeing them burn their energy here is very beneficial to us. So now we have, we can just come back in with Frostlass and know that our opponent lost all of that energy that they had built up. And so we are going to go just straight for the Shadow Ball here, which does get shielded, but that's completely fine. We can go ahead and shield here because we are close to another charge move, and it's going to be Thunder Punch, which would have taken us out there. And we are going to go for the Shadow Ball right before they can Confusion us down, and we will see if this gets the last shield or takes out the HYPNO, and that's what it does. And we see a Primeape, which is unfortunate because we do have our HYPNO in the back. I guess it's not unfortunate for us, but so I don't know. It's good for us there, but well played by my opponent here. And now we're going to go into round 3. And we'll see if we do see the Probopass here, and we have HYPNO here. So this is kind of a neutral matchup. Depending on how things go, it can favor HYPNO. I just have to land the Shadow Ball, because that's the only move that's really going to do anything here. And they decided not to shield here. And we are not going to shield either. And because I know that I have Primate, which can easily take out this Probopass, but I do want to have it stay far away from my Frostlass, because that Probopass would absolutely destroy my Frostlass. We unfortunately lose CMP here against the HYPNO. We would have been able to land a Shadow Ball, but that's alright. We do see the same strat as in the last game, where they charge up some energy and then bring in something else. And I swapped on the charge move there. It's just going to be a Night Slash, and they get the boost, which is not great for us. We go for our own Night Slash here. Hopefully they don't shield this, and they do shield, but we now have 2 shields to 0, and so we can luckily shield this Night Slash, which would hurt quite a bit. And we're able to farm down before they get to the next Night Slash, which is great for us. And now HYPNO has to get to 2 charge moves to be able to take us out, and we have the Shadow Ball ready. So GG's there to our round 2 opponent. Let's hop into round 3. We're against Amelia Marie 77, and she's just going to completely outplay us on the leads and team comps here. So we're going to have to work hard to overcome that. So we start off with Xylas into Frostlass, which is not what we want to see, and then we swap in our Ninetales, and we get met with Mantine, which would not be terrible if we were running Solar Beam, but I like Science Rock because it's great for the mirror, and Solar Beam is very good if you can land it, but that's a big if there. So we do take a shield from the Mantine, but now this Mantine has loaded energy here. It's either going to debuff us now or deal some massive damage with Ice Beam, and it decides to debuff us, so it's a good thing that we didn't shield there. And I'm just going to try to build up as much energy as possible. If this is an Ice Beam, it's going to hurt a lot, but it is just another Bubble Beam bait here. We are going to try to just farm it down, and we are able to pull that off there. So as soon as the Frostlass comes back in, we are going to go for a Dark Pulse, which does get shielded and gets the final shield off of our opponent. That still would have done a decent amount of damage, even though we were double debuffed on our attack. So our opponent throws an Avalanche, which we shield, and swaps into Primate, which does get absolutely deleted by our Frostlass. Frostlass with shield advantage is just phenomenal, and so we're going to be able to finish off that game, even though we lost the lead and lost the switch pretty hard there. We were able to pull it back there. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of games here. Game 2, we lead Ninetales into Mantine, another terrible lead for us. We are going to swap right into Frostlass. Frostlass was very helpful for us last game, and our opponent's going to charge up a little bit of energy with Mantine, and then we are going to see the Primate come in here. So we get the first shield with Avalanche. We are not going to shield the Night Slash, which is super risky, because if our opponent was able to get the boost, then she would have been able to completely fast move us down. But because of that not happening, we are able to get the second shield, and now we have 2 shields to 0. We don't have Frostlass to use the shield advantage this time, but we still have 2 other Pokemon. And we see the Legacy Cross Chop now. It's a good thing we shielded that. It could have been a Night Slash, but it would have done a lot more damage if it was the Cross Chop there. So we are going to go for the Weather Ball, and that takes out the Primate there. We do switch into Xylas on the charge move, which means it's going to be a Bubble Beam there, which does debuff us, but it's not going to do nearly as much damage as an Ice Beam. We are still going to be able to put out a decent amount of damage here. So we go for the first Body Slam before they can get off a Bubble Beam bait, and we shield, which is very good because they were throwing an Ice Beam there. And because of that, we were only debuffed once, and so this next Body Slam is just almost going to KO, and we are not able to take it out, so I spoke too soon there. And we do take an Ice Beam there, which is not great for us. It does give us one more Fire Spin on Ninetales, but now we see the opposing Ninetales, which is not great for us. We really needed to see like a Frostlass or something that we could easily take out, but it looks like this game is not going to go in our favor, so we are going to go for the tiebreaker third round. We lead HYPNO into Mantine, so a little bit better lead here. Still not exactly a win, but definitely one of the better answers from my team into Mantine. So we're going to go for the Shadow Ball after charging up a ton of energy, and we'll see what happens here. We do see the first shield coming up here, and we are still not going to shield. Either an Ice Beam would not take us out, and it is just going to be a Bubble Beam, lowering our attack a good amount, which is not great for us, of course, but we are still alive. And we get off the Shadow Ball, which puts it into red health. We are not going to shield here. It is going to be an Ice Beam, and we're going to see if we can get off the Ice Punch before going down. Unfortunately, we are not, and so now we just need to try to take out the Mantine before it can throw its energy, but unfortunately we are not able to do that. I brought in Frostlass there just to get a little bit more energy, and now we see the Ninetales come in, and we did not want to see that at all. We see the Night Slash come out. We could have seen a Cross Chop there, which would have been disastrous, but we do get the last shield, and we get the boost with our Primate, which is going to mean that we can put this into farming range. We do shield the Cross Chop here. We're able to farm down, so we have one shield to try to take out this Ninetales. This is still an uphill battle for our Frostlass here. One Shadow Ball is not going to take it out. We need one more charge move, and are we going to be able to get to it? This is the first Weather Ball coming through. We are going to see either an Avalanche or another Weather Ball, and Frostlass is able to pull out the impossible here against Ninetales. Incredible game there. GG's to my opponent. And now let's hop into the final round. So we were 3-0 going into this final round. We were the only undefeated person, if I remember right. No, maybe we weren't. I can't remember. But we start off with what is normally a favorable lead if the Mandibuzz has Snarl, but this Mandibuzz has Air Slash. So we're going to just build up to the close combat, throw it, hope we get a shield, or do massive damage. We do massive damage, and we're going to bring in our Frostlass. We do have to shield. That foul play would have done a ton to us, and now we see the Primate come in here. We are going to be able to threaten shields here because we are going to be doing so much damage, and we CMP Tyrant here, but that is completely fine because we are going to survive this Night Slash just barely, I thought it was going to be a little bit more comfortable than that, but it was definitely a nail biter there. We're going to have the second shield gone though, which is phenomenal for us. We can bring in HYPNO here. Night Slash is going to be dealing a decent amount of damage, and we see the attack boost there. So we are going to shield the second one. It's a good thing we waited to shield there because the second one would have done a lot more damage. We see the Quagsire come in now. We're going to go straight for the Shadow Ball, and it's great that we see the Quagsire now. We could have gone for Ice Punches against Mandibuzz, but it's going to be great here to see because we're going to, after we get taken out here, our Primeape is going to be able to farm up energy off of the Quagsire, but they swapped out, so we're going to farm off of the Mandibuzz instead and just barely make it to the close combat, which is going to finish off game 1. So very well played to my opponent there. And we now know that Mandibuzz is running Air Slash, and so we know to watch out for that. So we see a Quagsire versus HYPNO here. We do have to watch out for an Earthquake coming through, but we are going to, one Earthquake is not going to be able to take us out. We're still going to be able to put out some pretty heavy damage. Our opponent safe swaps into Mandibuzz, and our Frostlass questions whether or not that is a safe swap and comes in and just starts to unload these avalanches here. Our opponent is going to be able to threaten us with Foul Play, and so we are going to shield that once and then go for another avalanche, which does take it out. We see the Quagsire come back in. This is likely a Stone Edge, which will absolutely destroy Frostlass here. And now we have an option of which Pokemon to come in with. And we're going to come in with Primeape, which is going to be able to almost take it out, but we are going to take a charge move here. This is an Earthquake, so it's a very good thing we shielded that. And our opponent has Primeape in the back, so we are going to go for the close combat, which does unfortunately get shielded, but that is completely fine with us because we do have HYPNO in the back, which is going to be able to clean up this game nicely. And one more. We are going to see a charge move coming through here, but this, and it's going to be a close combat, which unfortunately is not going to take us out, and that is a good game there. So we are going to go through for a game 3, and we see the Mew coming out. This could have any number of moves, so we really don't know what it's running. The most common movesets, though, typically will have Surf and Wild Charge, and so Whiscash is a fairly effective wall to that. We do see the Mandibuzz come back in, and we try to throw a Mud Bomb at it, but Mud doesn't hit birds because they just fly over it, so that doesn't work out very well for us. We do land the Blizzard, which does massive damage, but it's still not going to take it out, and we need to land a second Blizzard to be able to finish this game, to finish this matchup. So we are just going to leave it in the red for another one of our Pokemon to farm it down. So our Ninetales is going to come in here and just try to air spin this all the way down. We almost get there, and we're just going to invest a shield here, knowing that we are likely to get a shield off of whatever comes in here because we have so much energy built up. We do see the Primeape, which is great for us because we don't want it to see our Xylos in the back, and we can go for the first Weather Ball, which does get shielded. The first Weather Ball didn't, but the second did, and we have a third ready to go because we had so much energy, which does take out the last little bit of energy there. We are actually going to not farm down and try to farm down with our Xylos, but they swap in Mew at the exact same time. I'm not really sure what's going on here. I was not sure if my opponent was lagging or not, or because I don't want to win off of lag, but they were conceding here. And so that was a great battle. Well played to my opponent there and to all of my opponents that we were ended up winning this tournament, sweeping it 4-0 and getting us a little bit closer to elite tier, which is phenomenal. Should happen next month, hopefully. I did get a little bit closer. Well, not next month, this month now, because it is next month. You know what I mean. It may not, at least I hope you know what I mean. I did get a couple segments closer to elite, but not over elite. So HYPNO was absolutely fantastic in this meta. Super strong. If you haven't built one already, you're definitely going to want to use it in future metas. It's looking really strong in Prismatic Cup. Definitely just super versatile. You really don't know what moveset it's going to be using. It could have Focus Blast, it could have Fire Punch, it could have Psyshock. I don't know. It's got a lot of moves that it can use to have certain coverage that your team might be missing. If your team is weak to Bastiodon in Open Great League, then use Focus Blast. That is very scary. That will absolutely destroy it. Overall, really enjoyed using this team. Frostlass is one of my favorites, and I enjoyed using Primeape for the first time, Ninetales for the first time. This is my first time building a Xylas as well, and I really enjoyed using it as well. But if you enjoyed watching this video, like I enjoyed making it and battling for it, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe for more content that will be coming soon. For Prismatic Cup, hopefully before the end of Prismatic's month of April, but I'm just rambling now, so bye!